Hey guys, welcome to Vehicle Visionary. Today my friends at Red River Chevrolet in Bossier City, Louisiana have loaned me this 2021 Chevrolet Suburban. This is the Premier Edition. It also has the Texas package, and I'll list what all that includes on the screen. In fact, I'll tell you what, I'll do better than that. Instead of making you read it all on the screen, check out the description of the video after you have finished watching. This particular model has an exterior color of cherry red tint coat, and it's a very nice vehicle, completely redesigned. Here is the remote for you. As you can see, it has lock, unlock. I'm going to lock it real quick. It does have remote start, and we'll start that up just so that you can hear that. I'll give you a better exhaust clip that I shot earlier if you'd like to check that out. But as you can see, it does have actually 4 exhausts. You've got dual exhaust on each side, and of course you can do everything from starting the engine to turning it back off. If you want to, just hit that twice. You also have the ability to lock and unlock, open the rear tailgate, and let's hit this button right here. What that does, you've got the rear tailgate here, and then if you just want to open the rear glass, that's what that button on the very bottom right hand side is for. And we'll take a look at the interior here in just a little while, but let me just give you a good look. We'll take a quick walk around, let's just see what everything looks like. Completely redesigned inside and out for 2021. And the advantages of what we have here is that you have increased interior space. There is increased cargo space as well, and I will give you all those numbers later on in the video. But let's go ahead and just open the hood real quick. We'll take a look at what is there. This particular model features the 5.3 liter V8. Whoops, we do have passive entry right here. That way I can open the door by using that. Passive entry is here, and there is the hood latch if you ever need that. That is where that is, and I'll tell you what, this is a fully loaded Suburban. Very easy hood to open, easy to find. The hood latch right here in the middle. This is the 5.3 liter V8, and I will put all of the information on the screen about that motor. And I'll follow that up with, we'll also put the transmission and all that stuff, gas mileage, everything on there. I'll follow that up with the available trim levels of the 2021 Suburban and their starting prices, the base prices. So let's take a look at what you can expect in the interior. Hit that button so we can unlock that. Let's see, there we go. With the passive entry, of course, you do have the Chevrolet door sill right there, and something that a lot of you I think are going to like, panoramic sunroof, because I know a lot of you were saying that's something that these vehicles needed. Well, now they have that. And you have a couple of different things you can do here with these latches on the seat here. You can move that forward. It actually does slide back and forth. It also reclines. All of these seats recline back, so that's a very nice feature. And if you pull on this one twice, here's what happens. You can take that and then pull up on this little strap on the back, and that moves right out of the way. And I'll show you how to do that automatically in just a minute. We'll fold that back into place, and there's a nice view of the panoramic sunroof. And here in the back seat, like I said, your rear seat passengers and your middle seat passengers are going to have a lot of space. Cup holders, storage, USB port. You've got the same thing over here on the right hand side. And if you need to get out, let's say somebody is sitting here in the rear seats and you need to get out, and in this particular model at least, and you say, well man, I don't want to crawl through the center here. There is an opening there if you wanted to do that. You've got the buttons right here on each side, one on the passenger side and this one on the driver's side. And what that's going to do is fold the seat down. Then you're going to pull on this latch right here, and again, you'll move that completely out of your way. And there's a lot of advantages to that you can increase cargo space that way. And of course, we'll take a look at how you can fold these seats down yourself with the buttons in the rear. Let's see here if we can get that moved back in place. That's what that is for right there. Of course, you do have these side steps here. They're not automatic, but you've got the steps there if you want to use those. And this is a fully power rear liftgate. Like I said, you can use the remote to open this. There is a little button right here if you want to use that, or here on the right-hand side, you have a motion sensor. Notice all I did right there, I didn't even touch anything. You can if you want to, but you don't have to. And here is your power rear liftgate. And I'll put all the information on the screen as far as cargo capacity and towing and all that kind of stuff. Now you might notice here you have a folding floor where you can fold things up. You have a lot of storage space underneath there. There's everything for changing a tire if you ever need to. Hopefully you won't, but you do have the spare tire underneath the vehicle if you ever need to get to that. Of course, it's going to save space. That's why you have the floor is capable of having a little bit more space here than it would have in the past. And as you can see right here, let's get that open, you have a power outlet, so that's nice to know if you need to power something. And here's what we have here. These rear seats are fully powered, so you can lower the rear seats, both sides, with those buttons right there. Now, the middle row seats, you can lower those, as you can see, but this is how you maximize your cargo space, but you can't raise those back up. But you can use power to raise these rear seats back up, but you have a lot of space available there. And of course, you can close this rear lift gate the same ways that I showed you. Of course, there's also a button in the interior in the front. You can use the remote, you can use the motion sensor down here on the right hand side of the bumper, or you can simply hit this button right here if you wish to, and that will go down. And we'll hop into the middle row seats here. Of course, all four doors have passive entry on them, and as you can see here, you're looking at a very nicely trimmed out interior. You've got door bins right here, quite a bit of space. You could put a very large bottle right there if you wanted to. There are, of course, two more cup holders here on these seats. Let me move this out of the way for you. So let's see, have to get used to that. There we go. It's that front latch right there. Of course, again, the Chevrolet door sill right there, nice chrome finish to that. And as you can see, you do have storage bins, or pockets here I should say, on the rear of both seats. Those are also called map pockets. A couple more cup holders, and you do have, of course, the controls for these rear air conditioning vents, and there are 4 back here, 2 right here, and 2 more in the back. And you also have a little fold down coat hanger there, or whatever you want to hang off of that, that is available. And hopefully you can see it. I do have a picture to show you. USB ports and another power outlet right there. So of course you can control the fan speed and the temperature right here on the rear of the console. Now as we move into the front seat, of course there's a lot of goodies and luxuries up here. Driver and passenger seats, fully adjustable, both power. You have a reasonable amount of space here in the glove compartment, and more storage right here on the side of the console, as you can see. And we'll walk around to the other side and hop in on the driver's side so you can check out what's there. You do have a multitude of safety features, and I will list all of those on the screen for you. Of course, you've got the roof rails, and there's your antenna for your satellite up there. But let me give you a quick look here at what's new on the interior, especially here on the driver's side. Of course, this particular model comes with a lot of features. This is meant for towing, so you do have different features to help with that. I'll list those on the screen for you. And all the typical features here, everything is power, door locks, windows, all that good stuff. Now right here, this is for your heads-up display, and I hope you'll be able to see that real well, especially on our test drive later on. Of course, you can control a lot of the safety features right here, a power parking brake, and you can change settings on your headlights, among other things right here. And right here is the adjustment on this particular model, a power adjustable steering wheel, tilt and telescopic. And we'll hop inside the front seat here for you. You do have push button start. But the first thing I think you're going to notice, we'll turn that off so we don't get hit with a copyright violation. The thing you're going to notice, what's missing? There's no shifter here on the steering column. You have a push button shifter right here, and it's not that difficult to use. You pull up for reverse, and of course the rear view camera is going to come on, and you have a multitude of options there that you can go through in reverse. I've got this in reverse right now. My foot is on the brake pedal, so we're safe. Neutral, that is a push button. To go into drive, you're going to pull up on that as well, and in park is push. So we're going to put that right there, and we'll get to the infotainment screen in just a minute. But as you can see, I have a nice dash layout here. Very simple, but yet looks nice and modern. Steering wheel mounted controls. You have adaptive cruise control. Of course, you can control the radio, voice commands, and you can answer and hang up on phone calls. You do have controls on the rear of the steering wheel for controlling the volume and the station with the radio if you want to use that. And of course, here is our infotainment screen. It's a very easy screen to use, super simple. Chevrolet has done a very nice job with this. Of course, you have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You can go into your settings right here and change a lot of different things. And I'm going to do a lot of videos that are just quick little tutorials that will link as soon as I start getting more and more of those. You can go into your apps, you can change different things with lighting, and you have teen driver mode. Quite a few nice features. And of course, down here you have the controls for the radio, and also you can hit that home button right there, and that will take you back to the main screen with your infotainment screen. And of course, you also can hit the camera button right there and go through all of the different options you have with the multiple cameras available on this vehicle. So quite a bit there. We can hit home and go back. You also have dual zone climate control here in the front. Of course, you also have, technically it would be 3-zone climate control because you have controls in the back for the rear area. That's a 3rd zone. And so let's make sure we get that right. And of course, you've got all the different buttons and switches down here, more USB ports, and this is going to be a 12-volt power outlet. Right here is the wireless charging. Let me put my phone in there so you can see that at work. Get that to come on. There it goes. It doesn't come on immediately, so if you stick your phone on the wireless charging pad and say, uh-oh, that's not working, just let it sit there for a few seconds, not too terribly long, but it will come on. Of course, dual cup holders right here. And one thing I really like about Chevrolet is the fact that they have a very large console. You've got a little bit of storage right there, and you can double that as an armrest. And of course, you have a removable tray here. I've got a few things in there, a few of my items there, another USB port, and a slot for a memory card, and quite a deep console here. So you can leave this tray out if you want to, if that's inconvenient, or just move it as you need to. Now, here is the rear view mirror. Let me do this. This is just your conventional rear view mirror. So here with the rear view mirror, if you have somebody who's sitting there in the center seat, even though you have a great view all the way through, you don't have a headrest or anything like that to worry about. But if there is somebody sitting there in that center seat, this little latch in the middle, just pull up on that and you've got the rear view camera view now for the mirror. And you can adjust this a number of different ways. So you're going to push the buttons here on, let's see, on this button on the far left. You can adjust the brightness. You can also adjust the zoom. So what you have to do though is you don't hold the button down, you actually have to push those buttons and it will zoom in accordingly. So it's apparently you don't have the ability to just hold it down. You have to actually almost pulse it, as you can see me doing right there. But basically everything that you need. And it takes a little bit of getting used to if you haven't ever used one of those before, but once you're used to it, you probably won't want to turn it off. Of course, you have the control here. This is actually for your rear tailgate, and you can control how high it goes up or whatever position you want it to go to, whether it's full or 3/4 or whatever the case may be. And then the controls here for, you can lower your rear seats, the power rear seats right here. And then of course you can control the shade or open and close the power sunroof, or power panoramic sunroof I should say. As you can see, that is opening up. We'll close that back up. And then the shade of course will come up as well. And now we've got the shade coming up if you want to use that, or you can just leave that open depending on what your preferences are at a given time. Everything very simple to use here. Very easy, lots of creature comforts, of course, depending on the trim level that you get, it will determine what you do and don't have. And here's something interesting. In my last video on a Tahoe, I said I really didn't know what this was for. Let me show you what that is for. What fits in there perfectly? A pair of sunglasses. So you can put your sunglasses in there and close that up. They're good and safe because you don't have any kind of a sunglass holder right here. So why don't we get this out on the road and see how it handles. Okay guys, let's go out for a quick test drive here, and I hope you have a good view of the heads-up display as I'm driving here, trying to give you a good view with the GoPro. And as you can see, you know, I'm just kind of cruising down the road here. One thing you're definitely going to find is that the acceleration is not a problem. Watch this. That is very impressive, to say the least, for such a large, heavy vehicle. Now, something else that I must say here, if you're looking for a Suburban and thinking, well, I'd really like to get a vehicle maybe that's a little bit smaller, even though I don't have as much space and all that good stuff, that has a good, smooth ride. Well, here's the reality. With adaptive air suspension on all four corners of the Suburban, the ride is ultra smooth. And if you don't know what that actually means, the adaptive suspension in itself, what that does is it literally adjusts in an instant to changing road conditions. So if the road goes from being really smooth to maybe being really rough, it's going to adapt to that. Now, it doesn't mean that it feels like you're driving on glass 100% of the time, but I'll tell you what, the ride is ultra smooth. So as we cruise down the road here, you know, of course I have the camera on with the mirror, so I hope you have a good view of that. The overall driving experience, nice and enjoyable. The steering wheel is comfortable. The steering is good and responsive. You know, a lot of the time in years gone by with vehicles such as this Suburban or the Tahoe or all of the different GM vehicles that this fits into as far as being a full-size SUV, they were big and bulky and didn't ride very well, and they're still big and a little bit challenging to park sometimes depending on what your experience level is, but it's nothing you can't adjust to. And I want to show you something. I hope you can see this. You can see the difference between the side view mirror and the rear view mirror with the camera. It does, like I said, take a little bit of getting used to. With this car that just passed me right here, it looked like it was further away, of course, in the side view mirror than it did in the rear view mirror, but still a very, very nice feature here. And I'll tell you what, with all of the different safety features such as blind spot monitoring and lane keep assist and all that good stuff, the driving aids just make this driving experience in this vehicle a lot more enjoyable. I don't want to say that it makes you become lax as a driver, but it gives you a little bit more confidence as a driver than what you may have had in the past when all these driving aids were not available. Of course, like I said earlier in the video, there are so many bells and whistles here that I didn't want to cover every single little thing on this one particular video to keep it from being too long, but let's do this. Let's have a little bit of an acceleration test here. Say you're going to merge into traffic where the traffic is moving a lot faster. Let's see how we do here. Not from a completely dead stop, but almost. And as you can see, I'm going into this corner at a pretty good clip here. And surprisingly, the body roll is actually rather minimal. Now, I know the handling characteristics are obviously going to change if you have people in the vehicle or cargo or whatever the case may be, because the The weight balance is going to be different depending on how many people and where they're sitting and all that kind of stuff. But overall, I have to say, based on what I've experienced in the past with similar vehicles to this one, I am very impressed with what Chevrolet has done with this Suburban. So I want to ask you to do me a favor, and do yourself a favor, guys. If you want to have a chance at winning the $250 Amazon gift card when my YouTube channel hits 25,000 subscribers, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And I'll tell you what, every time we hit another milestone, $25,250, $50,500, $75,750, if we can hit 100,000 subscribers one day, one of you will have a chance to win a gift card to Amazon, or maybe it will have to be multiple gift cards, because I don't know what the maximum is you can put on one for $1,000. And I honestly hope the day comes when I'm on the hook for $10,000 because we hit 1 million subscribers. So I appreciate my friends at Red River Chevrolet for loaning me this Suburban for the day, and all of you who were kind enough to take the time to watch. I appreciate all of you guys and your support. I look forward to seeing you in my next video.